lot of life lessons. In sports, I love sports. I grew up in a sports family, love baseball, love the Twins, hate the Vikings. Anyway, that's another story. But I believe the outdoors teaches some great life lessons that, just like sports, teach you discipline, teamwork, teach you perseverance, teach you patience. That if you don't put in time and effort, if you don't no pain, no gain. I think the outdoors teaches us some great lessons too. And 4 of the lessons that I've learned from the outdoors that I value very much is, number 1, have you ever heard the country group Alabama sing, "I'm in a hurry to get things done, and I rush until life's no fun"? I love that song because that's me. I just find myself in a hurry. I'm always scrambling. In fact, I had plenty of time to get up here, and I looked down a couple times and said, "Lord, this car's doing 85. What's wrong with it?" And honestly, I'm embarrassed. Sometimes why am I driving this fast? I'm just, I'm having a good time. I'm just not thinking. And to me, cars kind of pointing at about 80. You know what I'm saying? It just kind of smooths out, Well, anyway, forgive me for being a bad example. But I've been working cruise controls, trying to get the cruise control and keep that thing on. But I just find myself sometimes in a hurry. I own 2 companies and some real estate. How many have heard of Aber Auto Body? It's a very large, one of the largest chain of auto body shops in the country. And I started that company in 1984. So I've done a lot of business in my day, and I just sometimes I find myself just so caught up trying to do and get things done. I'm just not having fun. It's wearing me out. And by the way, let me tell you something. Stress is a bad gig. I know something about stress. And I'm having a good time. When I was 30 years old, I found myself in an emergency room. My body was doing crazy things, and just weird things were happening. And they checked me all out, and they said, the doctor says, "Son, how's it going in your life?" I said, "Oh, it's going great. I'm having the time of my life." He says, "Well, maybe, but your body just checked out." And it took me a year to get my health back. I had severe dizzy spells. I couldn't go into a restaurant even without just feeling anxious. And I just was using so much adrenaline and just going all the time. What I love about the outdoors is one of the places I can actually slow down. Now, most of the animals I've gotten, whitetail and mule deer, antelope, even antelope, I've gotten still on it because I can't even sit in a tree very well. But I can go out and I can sit for a minute or 2 on a stump. And I can go out and I can lean up against a tree. And I've gotten to my old age to be able to sit in a tree for 2 hours. But after 2 hours, it's I gotta get out of here. I just start to fidget, all over the place. So one of the things I love about the outdoors is it teaches you need to slow down. We need slow down time in our lives. And it's one of those few places, so like a time warp, it just goes, ooh. That feels awesome. You know what, folks, you need slow down time. You need time when you're not so harried and busy, and you're rushing until life's no fun. Number 2, it teaches you that you need quiet time. We live in a noisy world, and I love music. I just love music. But most of the way up here, you know what I was playing in my car? Nothing. Because sometimes just the sound of the road, and my thoughts, just driving, was awesome. And if you go in the woods and you run around and you make a lot of noise, and you're not listening, what do you see? Nothing. Except maybe you start running out the other end. When you get in the woods, and you slow down and you get quiet, what happens? It's amazing. The woods comes alive, doesn't it? I mean, I've sat there and I've had squirrels try to crawl up my pant leg. Okay. I've had grouse try to land on my shoulder. I've had a whole herd of elk. I'm sitting on a stump. Walk by from me to you, brother. A whole herd. Now, if I was running around making a lot of noise, would that happen? No. And what I love about hunting and fishing and all that is that you sit and you get quiet, and all of a sudden, things you didn't know were there. You start to hear things and see things you didn't know were there. And I think that's what we need in our life, is that we need times when we just slow down and we just listen. We start to hear things and see things in our lives that matter. Which leads me to my 3rd point. I believe the outdoors teaches me how important relationships are. Because if I just hunted by myself, if I never shared a campfire with anybody, if I never had a buddy to help me drag a bear or a deer, or just the stories and the camaraderie. You know, there's families in Minnesota. The biggest reunion time is not Thanksgiving or Christmas, but it's the opener of what? Deer season, or fishing season. But I heard that deer season for sure was. And I forget how many relatives I have till the opening of deer season in my camp. But who are you? Oh, yeah. Okay. But it teaches me that at the end of my days, it's not how big the bucks I shot, or where I've hunted, or all the escapades, or all the things I've accomplished, but do I have people that I love and hold dear in my life? And when I'm out in the woods, I think about the people I love and hold dear. And I believe, by the way, and ladies, you're going to be glad you came, I think, because I believe that the outdoors has made me a better husband. And let me explain. Several years ago, my wife came up to me, and guys, how many know when you're in trouble before your wife opens her mouth? I could see it coming. Oh boy, I screwed up. And I know there's an announcement about to come, and she says, honey, you know, I feel like we just don't have intimate conversations. And I go, yeah. It's like, what? And my mind's rapid firing on. We talk all the time. It seems like we talk about everything I can think about. I mean, are those conversations not meaningful? I mean, my mind's just spinning, you know. And honestly, ladies, this is you. Okay? So I go to my wife. I say to my wife, honey, I'm not against intimate conversations. I want our conversations to be meaningful. What are they? You know what she said? I don't know. I mean, guys, we still understand that. We understand, you know, instruction manuals, we understand a process, you know, and descriptions, and, you know, and I said, well, how do you know we don't have them then if you can't tell me what they are? I'm just thinking, how does this work? And see, gals, we're just really simple creatures, okay? Just gotta, you know what? If we just don't read minds very well, it just doesn't happen, you know? You gotta kind of tell us, because we just don't get it any other way. And so I'm a little bit smart, and I said to my wife, I said, well, I'll tell you what, honey, when you can tell me what an intimate conversation is, I'll be an expert at it. Well, guess what? That didn't go over very well. So I really think, I don't know, I can't remember for sure, but I think I was on a deer stand. I'm just having this quiet time, and I'm talking with God, and by the way, I believe God talks to us if we're listening.
Amen.
And I said, God, my wife, and the problem was my wife couldn't describe what she meant. She just knew that we weren't having meaningful conversations. She just couldn't put it into words. And I knew that. And I said, God, my wife feels like our conversations aren't meaningful and they're not intimate. But you can't tell me what they are, you know? I mean, how am I supposed to figure this out, you know? And then I felt like God spoke to me. And guys, I want you to listen, because here's what he told me. He says, this is what an intimate conversation is to your wife. When she talks, you really listen. I go, Lord, that's hard work. She's got more words than I got ears. You know, Lord, I can't even, I couldn't pay attention in school, much less anywhere else, you know. It's hard for me to concentrate. And he says, yeah, I know, but that's what it means. Let me tell you something, guys. The best gift you can give your wife is to really listen to her. And 34 years later, I'm still working at it because it's hard for me. But you want to know what I found out? Is I really worked hard to listen to my wife and to listen to what her heart was talking about, what she was trying to share with me. And I did, you know, guys, that doggy in the back window thing, they see right through it, okay? Yeah, oh yeah, honey, that's, wow. Don't work. You really have to listen. And what I found out with my wife is when I really listened, just like being in the outdoors, I slowed down and I got quiet. I started to hear things and see things that I didn't know were there. I started to realize, oh, I'm really married to a pretty cool lady. She's pretty cool. She's pretty special. The best gift you can give anybody you love, especially your wife, What do you think of that, ladies? Is that true? Huh?